What's up, everyone? It's Demolition Derby for Life. I'm here in the shop, kind of cleaning up. I just finished up a good project, and I will show you that here in just a second. I haven't decided yet on what I'm going to do with the Malibu. I haven't really had any comments, really, that I could try doing. I did check the fuses, and I couldn't really tell if anything was blown. All the ones that I could see were good, except for those black ones that are square. I can't tell if those are junk or whatever. I did try. I don't think a computer is gonna work. A new one, I don't think that's gonna work, because the wires cut, and that might just trip the next computer I put in, so I don't want to even bother with that. But otherwise, I might try just a inline pump. Maybe that will work, but never know unless you try. So one of the projects, pretty much one of the projects I'm doing is I'm making a gas tank, or pretty much a gas tank for like a derby car. Like if I have a compact or a van or something, I'm making one up. And this is kind of how you do it. So all what you do is you leave where you're gonna put your gas in. You leave that, and what you do is you just make a little hole in here, and you take your pump that you want. Sometimes the pump's going to be too big for like a boat tank. That's usually what people do, is they take old steel boat tanks and they use them. That's normally what they use, but if you have something different and it's taller and it won't work for a boat tank, I will show you what I did with a different thing that I have. So basically, what you do is you take your pump, you set it on here, and you kind of see how it fits. What I do for my pumps is I actually cut. I don't take the whole pump out. I just cut around the pump on the plastic, and I keep part of that plastic for mounting my tanks down. So all what you do is, after you got it cut out, make sure you cut it wide enough that you can put self-tapping screws in, which, if you don't know what self-tapping screws are, they're these. And all what you do is you take the whatever size head you have, and you take a screw gun. These are 10 mil for the heads, and you take the screw gun, and once your pump is on top, all what you do is you just suck her tight. But before you even do anything like that, make sure you buy some gasket maker. Make sure you buy that. That will help seal everything up and keep it from leaking, because it will leak on you, I guarantee you, if you don't put that on. It's very simple to do. Very cheap. Probably the most expensive tool that you'll have is a angle grinder, and that's what I use to cut a hole in my tank. Or you can even use a sawzall, or if you feel ambitious, maybe even a hammer and a screwdriver or something, just to chisel away around it. But all I did is I just cut it open. I didn't even remove all the metal. I just bent it down and over, and seemed to work. So after you got your hole made, you put down your gasket sealer, and you put your fuel pump on that. What I do for my gasket sealer is I put a layer around here, just around the edge, and then I put another layer on the fuel pump around the plastic. And I just set it down there, and then take my self-tapping screws, and then I just self-tap it all the way down tight. I put in probably about 20 to 30 self-tapping screws on. Just go about like every half inch or whatever, all the way around. And then you just suck it down tight, and basically you just put another layer on the outside of gasket sealer and call it good. And you do have to wait about a day to let it set up. Or it says you can wait an hour, but you should wait a good day to make sure it actually sets up. And I will show you a couple finished products that I have. There's the motor that's going to be going in the Ghostbusters. I will talk about that here in a second. But these are what I have made up. So this is for someone else. So this is for his car. This is the pump that came out of his car. And instead of taking all this out, just the pump out, I cut, as you can see, I just cut the plastic out. Just big enough that it fits on the tank. And then you just set it down, self-tap it. I actually, before I even did anything with this, I drilled holes, like pilot holes, for the self-tapping screws, just to help a little bit. And make sure you don't make the hole too big for your pump, because if you do it too big, then you're gonna ruin your gas tank, and this won't seal down properly. But basically, after you got that all down, you're good to go. And here's what I did for if you have a really big pump. This is a little bit more expensive build. So basically what I did was, I have an old propane tank. It's been sitting outside for many years. I know there was no propane in it, and it was basically just sitting around doing nothing. So I saw it last night, and I was like, I'm going to see if that's tall enough for my really tall pump. This tall pump should be pretty close right to the bottom of this tank, and it fits perfectly. I actually had to spend a couple hours heating this plastic up because it was sitting up higher and it wasn't going to work exactly right for this tank. So what I did was I took a heat gun, I melted or kind of heated up all this plastic. I kept bending it down and trying to make it work, and eventually I got it to where I wanted it. So, and then basically I did the same thing. I set it down on the tank. I actually put all of my self-tapping screws in before I even put the silicone sealant down, just to see how it would sit in there, and it turned out really nice. And then after I got that all done, I pulled it out, and then I had to do a little bit more building. I had to add a filler neck for my gas tank, because there's no place to put it, not unlike boat tanks where they have one. So this one I had to actually make. So I just found where it would work best. So that's why I put that on there first, is to see where I could put the filler neck afterwards, and it worked out best right here. Then I just blew a little hole in there and called it good. I did put some gasket sealer or whatever. I did put it down inside there just to give it a little extra, I guess, sealant, I guess, just in case any of these welds here break. This is galvanized, and how I did it is I ground off the outside of the galvanized stuff, and then I just welded around it, and the inside started burning up some stuff, but hey, it worked. And then also I added some feet. I forgot to clean up the metal, so my welds look pretty crappy, but that's what I did for my bottom. just to bolt down to the bottom of the tank, so this is sturdy. I mean, I could add some ears up here to put some chains through or whatever, but that's basically what I use to make a gas tank for Astrovan. This is the pump out of the Astrovan that I just that I'm going to start building here soon. But yeah, it's not very hard. They're not very hard to do. These are very easy to do. Doesn't take very long. I mean, it took me to make these 2 tanks took me probably about 8 hours. Just because I didn't know exactly what I was doing, and kind of just getting the feel of how everything's gonna sit in and whatever. I mean, you could maybe even do this in half an hour if you have all the tools on hand right away and you have a little bit of experience building. And this is why it took me so long, is to build this damn thing. But honestly, I think it's awesome. Like, I did not expect it to turn out that great. I'm actually gonna paint it up a little bit, give it, like, just paint it black or whatever, or even leave it as is. But I'm hoping everything's good to go on it, and hopefully I didn't screw up the pump or anything while I was heating it up. If I did, then I'm just gonna have to, then I can just pull this off and then put a new pump in. It's simple as that. But yeah, there you go, guys. There's a way to build a couple gas tanks. Also, for this motor here, before I forget, which I will talk about in another video. Gotta make content somehow, so I will talk about it here in the next video. But there you go, guys. There's how to build some tanks. I mean, very, very easy to do. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Yeah. Couldn't really tell you anything else. Just very simple to do and kind of fun. Because you don't know if you're going to explode when you're cutting in a propane tank. But there you go, guys. There's a simple, easy way to put a steel derby tank in your cars. I'm hoping they won't really complain about this being plastic. I don't think they should, but you never know. I mean, this is the easiest way to put in a gas tank in your car. I mean, it's the cheapest way too, without having to spend, I don't even know how much derby gas tanks go for, but they're probably like 50, 60 bucks. This I made for, I mean, you buy the car, you get the pump and stuff for free. These 2 here cost me, well, with all the sealant and with these 2 things that I bought, cost me 16 bucks. So this whole tank cost me 16 bucks. The propane thing was for free, and these these foot legs are just some pieces of metal that I had laying around, and then I just drilled a couple holes for putting bolts through. And steel gas tanks, they may cost you like $5, maybe max. Yeah, so there you go, guys. I hope that was somewhat informational to you guys. I didn't really feel like doing a time-lapse video on how to making these. It would be so boring to watch, just me sitting in one place for the whole video pretty much. That was just, and I spent probably a good hour just trying to figure out how everything's gonna work and be designed. So there you go, guys. Again, I hope this was informational and kind of somewhat helpful. But yeah, I think that's about it. So thank you guys again for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, definitely do. If you enjoy this channel, hit the like button. always appreciate the likes. It's a good thing to know that you guys like these videos and enjoy them, I guess. So yeah. Again, guys, thank you guys for watching all my videos. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys later.